And now the International Falls cheerleaders. Please greet Hillary Lukacic, Mary Fredrickson, Brandy Griffith, Nissa Peterson, Lynette Dion, Shauna Wagner, and Reagan Austin, the International Falls cheerleaders. Introducing now the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the Section 8 champions, the visitor this afternoon, a record of 22-4, the Warroad Warriors. In goal, number 27, senior Willie Marvin. On defense, number 4, junior Nick Stodgel. And on defense, number 5, sophomore Adrian Hesbargen. The center, number 9, senior Wyatt Smith. At left wing, number 13, junior Alan Hesbargen. And the right wing, number 2, junior Zach Hallett. Warriors head coach Gary Eads and the entire Warroad Warriors official party. And now let's greet the starting lineup for the home team, the Section 7 champions, a record of 18-7-1, the International Falls Broncos. Starting in goal, number 30, senior Todd Sether. On defense, number 3, senior Paul Hilfer. And on defense, number 7, senior Matt Rissanen. At center, number 10, senior John Austin. The left wing, number 19, senior Mark Dugas. And at right wing, number 12, senior James Armstrong. The Broncos head coach Kevin Gordon and the balance of the International Falls Broncos official party. The officials for this game. The linesman is Jim Von Wald. The referees are Paul Stengel and Greg Wohlers. And now before we start the game, it's a pleasure to introduce one player from each team representing the visitors. Number 3, Garrett Firmoil. And representing the home team, number 2, Eric Bartlett.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Minnesota State High School hockey tournament. We appreciate your attendance to this tournament and hope you enjoy it. The state hockey tournament is being played under the rules of the Minnesota State High School League. These rules provide fair play and good sportsmanship among players and coaches. As athletes, we ask that spectators promote the ideals of good sportsmanship, fair play, and respect for our opponents and the calls of the officials.
It's time to play hockey.
Thank you, Bob Reed. And we should be in tune here, or in line for a real good tilt, Tom. I think we're going to see a high level of skill, a high level of competition.
I think you're absolutely right, Frank. And one thing also, these two teams are familiar with each other. When you get those northern schools, you know there's a lot of competition up there. And it used to be the tournament was won by northern schools all those years. In fact, when you look at International Falls, they has come to this tournament 16 times, and they were the champs 6 times. You got Warroad who have been here 11 times. They have not won except in Class A, and that was in '94. But they are quite familiar. As you look at the goaltender now for the Broncos, that is Todd Sether, who's a senior, 5'9", for 150 pounds. 16 victories on the year with a 90% save average.
Well, Warroad with a 6-4 victory over Blake to advance here. Also through the benefits of 3 shorthanded goals in that game. On the other hand, International Falls with a 5-1 win over Detroit Lakes, getting a big 3-0 lead in the first period and then going on for the win there.
Now look also at number 27, Willie Marvin, the goaltender who faced Blake the other night, had 26 27 shots against him with 23 saves. And they say he's been their big goalie all season long. He's played every game in the last 2 years, and he'll get the call once again.
And so we are underway with their second semifinal game. The winner of this match to play Ticino Grace. And the loser will go to the third place game against Red Wing. Those two teams played earlier this afternoon at the Civic Center. For International Falls, Tom Jensen got it in over the line and now brought right back to center by the Warriors. Wyatt Smith flipping it in and shooting it in deep. Broncos get control. A pass at the line is broken up by Kane Martell, but it comes loose again. And Joe Fulton back in his own end. Pass a little bit too far for Barrett Olson. Olson, a two-goal scorer in the win over Detroit Lakes. Tipped free at the line, but not real free. It's still in a tangle of skates. Andy Shermone shooting it in. And Marvin leaves it behind the net. Pass out at center ice intended for Tanner Martell. He breaks loose and is forced into the corner. A good checking play by Jim Peterson. At the line, it's held in the zone by Ryan Tesser. And now to center ice comes Jim Peterson again. Peterson forced outside, but hangs onto the puck. Was really wrapped up by Mark Carlson and did a good job to hold on to it. Long shot by Hilfer, goes high over top of the net into the corner. No scoring, no shots on goal. We're early in period one. Jim Peterson trying to dig it out, shoots it around. Armstrong there to play it. He had a piece of it for a moment. Now Nels Grafstrom. The pass that's behind everybody to center ice, tipped away by Hilfer, and back deep in the zone. Chasing after it was Armstrong. And the Warriors get it as far as center, but it's picked off by John Austin. Works it up on the near rail, and in the inner crowd, here's Wyatt Smith to pick it up. He'll drop it back. Nick Stodgel from center, launching it in. Oops, took a hop out of that corner, and they had to be alert there. Smith trying to play it to the point, and then it's played right back in by Bo Johnson. In behind the net, Matt Rissanen hit by a couple of players. And the Broncos race at the center. James Armstrong there, the leading scorer in the Iron Range Conference, shooting it in. And the Broncos change on the fly.
Good start by both of these hockey clubs early on in this first period. I think they're kind of feeling each other a little bit right now, Frank. They're using the body. They're making some passes. Not a lot of action around the net at this point.
Puck laying loose underneath the skates here. And Chad Burris, that's flipping it in deep. Out of the corner, Andy Shermone. Trapped, but still is able to get the puck off to center ice. And a rush broken up at the line. From center, Shermone shooting it in. Stodgel first man to it, and a delayed offside called at the Warroad blue line. 3 minutes into the game here and no score.
We're looking at Kane Martell right now, the junior. Very fluid skater, one of the quickest guys that they have on the Warrior hockey team. Plays a point on the power play as well. And the kind of a guy, kind of the Andy Brink style, where he can play the forward position as well as the defense position.
Ready for the face-off out at center. Matt Allwelling for the Warriors, and he wins the draw. And a nice play at center by Peterson to pick the pocket of one of the Warroad players, but he was stopped at the line. Shermone shooting it in again, and Marvin waits for the puck to come back to him. Adrian Hasbargen got it to the point, not out, and it bounces away. The lead to Stomberg, slap shot, nice save, and the rebound cleared away in a hurry. Broncos racing to center, and Eric Bilden getting it in. Here's Stomberg once more. Goes cross rink at center, and they play between the blue lines as Hasbargen throws it in deep. There'll be no icing here. Warriors wanted to make a change. Up off the rail, the puck got away from Mark Dugas. As the Broncos come back with their number one line, Dugas on the left, John Austin at center, Jim Armstrong on the right side. Wyatt Smith after a loose puck. Plays it in deep, tipped away by Austin, number 10, the center iceman. And it's shot out by the Broncos all the way down. The icing waved off. A race for the puck. This is Dugas. Taken away in front of the net now and shot to center. A steal again at center by Armstrong. Then also taken away by Bo Johnson. Wyatt Smith at center ice. Drops from behind, but he spins to get the puck in the zone. And Rissanen first man to it. Senior defenseman gets it up on the far wing. Chipped at the line. Brought back in by Allwelling, and he may wish he hadn't touched the puck. He was dropped in a hurry. Boy, did he take a shoulder to the chest. Loose at the side of the net, and here's Kane Martell. Warriors get it back to Martell, who brings it in, drops it in the slot for Tanner. That's taken away. And back to center ice comes International Falls. Bilden shooting it just wide of the net. Tanner Martell knocking it around. Stodgel plays it up on the left wing wall. And it's shot right back around by Bilden. Loose at the side. And here's Allwelling again. Pass was behind Tanner Martell at center. And shot back in by Paul Hilfer. So no real strong moves to either net here.
We've only had one shot on net, that being by Warroad, and we played almost 5 minutes of playing time at this point, 5.5 minutes.
So the center, the side in the center of the field isn't going to get scooped up very much here. Flip it in. It's called icing. Finally, we get a chance for a break, and with the break, we'll be right back with the 95 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Both teams doing a good job of the transition game here, going from the defense to the offensive position. Not a lot of firepower from both sides. Some good size on both squads, some good hard hitting in both squads, but also some good skating as well.
Big bump out at center ice. A couple of them, a splash or two. And that's the first sign of any kind of ugliness. But it's back out at center. Scoreless game, first period. And neither team with much of an advantage either way. At center ice, Smith sidesteps Tuchek, brings it in, lets a rocket go. Rebound! Oh, nearly kicked in, but it hit the post. And that would have been a question mark whether Asbargen would have gotten that one or not had it gone in. Played to the far rail. Zach Hallett tried to get it out, couldn't do it. A shot turned away by Marvin. Making a bit there. Another shot comes his way. He makes the save and tries to sit on it. He does. And keeps this game scoreless. With the break in the action, we'll be right back with the 95 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Take the first step in the fight against them.
Best chances here coming for the Broncos.
Boy, two good chances. Wyatt Smith had a good chance. Also, Chris Arms coming to the other side as a defenseman, running a good hard shot goal. And goaltender Willie Marvin able to make that save.
And down at the other end, Todd Sether making the big stop on that low rocket from Wyatt Smith. That couldn't have been, that hugged the ice all the way in, Tom.
It did. It was right, nice and low. It hit the pipe when it came back out, as you mentioned. It went to Hasbargen at the same time, and he tried to kick it ahead and just failed to do so. Almost kicked it into the net, which would have resulted in no goal. But good action, good heavy hitting. As I mentioned, some good offensive power now coming on both sides.
The Lindquist line out there for International Falls, and they win the draw and shoot it in deep. Up the middle, Lindquist pushes it high and into the corner. Furaseth takes the hit. Warroad regains control. At center, Kane Martell sends it deep. Sether stops it. Kane Martell throwing a check, but missed. Rissanen throws it high in the air, or at least to get it to center ice, and it's brought right back by Carlson and deep in the zone. Rissanen once more. Intercepted by Wyatt Smith. And he goes back to his own line. Mark Carlson, the sophomore defenseman. And they lock up on the near side. Smith playing it ahead. Hallett goes cross rink and deep. Tried to center it in front for Smith. He'll track it down in the corner. And back into the near side for Zach Hallett again. He's well covered. And a steal. Hallett away with the puck. And he's upended. And finally to center ice comes International Falls. Got some tight checking there all of a sudden. Right up the middle and a blast wide of the net. A hard shot by Mark Dugas. Cleared down by Warroad, and it just missed the crease toe to the icing.
That was a nice play by Armstrong, also getting the puck into that slot area about 25 to 30 feet out. Mark Dugas coming, skating right into it, getting a good shot, and once again, we talk about the players getting the shots on the target. You must do that. You watch right here. Dugas takes the shot here, kind of off balance a little bit. That may have pulled the shot on him. The shots right now, only 2 for Warroad, only 1 for International Falls.
Olson's line out now for the Broncos. They'll have to track this one down back at their own line, but the reason the whistle goes is that we had a player for Warroad going off and the door was still open. And was that Ryan Tessier?
Ryan Tessier went towards the dressing room. We'll see if there's a problem, maybe an equipment problem. We're not quite sure. Have our crew down there, see if we can get an update on his status. Mike Anderson scored the hat trick for Bloomington Jefferson today in that 8-3 victory over Champlain Park in consolation round.
I know you were probably in your bathrobe and slippers about that time last night, but did you catch the game?
I saw a little bit of it. Not very much. I was doing some homework.
Okay. It was stunning. The Jefferson East game, that is.
You know, we've heard...
Yeah, just right, not your bathrobe and slippers. That's a pocket so wide.
No, I may have been stunning. Who knows?
I don't think so.
At least my slippers were.
6 minutes left, first period. And Zahn in the corner for the Broncos, behind his own net. A steal up the middle. Allwelling knocked off the puck, or off his tape, but stayed on the puck and played it in deep. And they grind it out along the wall. To the line, Carlson holding it in with a shot. Grafstrom. Allwelling. Back to the line, a slap shot. Nice save. Rebound. Another nice save. And Sether holds on. The first one from Bo Johnson, then the rebound in close. It's still scoreless. This is High School Hockey 95. Live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
A couple of key saves right here. Here's the first one by Johnson, as you mentioned. Look at that quick left pad of his, and all of a sudden on the rebound, here comes another one. Gets the right pad on it this time. So obviously he was practicing his splits before this game, because he had to use both pads in that situation.
Hallett tried to whack one in right from that face-off dot. Now he has the puck, but he's taken to the corner. Taken out by Hilfer. And Rissanen works it up the middle. Austin with a burst of speed to the Warrior line. Dugas is hit. Well, that burst of speed put somebody offside.
I think he put himself offside on the play. He had trouble controlling the puck, and the senior captain coming over the blue line all of a sudden started to roll on him just a little bit. He was getting up there with Mark Dugas and Armstrong on that number 1 line for the Broncos out of International Falls, Rainy River area.
Face off at center. Now they're going to take the Austin line off. They had the number 1 lines match there. I think they're going to still try to do that, because now for the Broncos, Olson's line is out there. Against the line centered by Kane Martell. Both second lines, if you will, and yet another whistle and another offside.
A lot of offsides right now, and what's happening, I think the players just getting a little bit over-anxious moving ahead of that puck carrier. You really want to allow your puck carrier to get over the blue line first before you start heading for the net, but I think they're trying to get the puck carrier to give them that puck. They may have an opening that they can move in close to the target.
Here's Hilfer to go after it. Runs into a crowd. Tanner Martell playing it in deep for brother Kane. And out of the pile-up, Barrett Olson tried to break free. He was hooked at the last second. No penalty here, and also no icing. Back to get it is Stodgel. Puck went slow enough down there, they feel someone could have played it. Now cleared the other way. It was deflected, so no icing again. This time Chris Zahn tries a long left wing pass out at center ice, and he stripped Barrett Olson out trying to reach for that puck, and then Olson was blasted on the rail. We get a stoppage of play. Still no score. This is High School Hockey 95 from the Civic Center in St. Paul. Walk with Tom Reed, Frank Mazzacco back here at the Civic Center in St. Paul with 4.5 minutes to go. Wyatt Smith, and that shot was right on. Back behind the net, Hilfer shooting it around, looking for Dugas. And now to center ice comes Austin. Well, he's got some speed, but The Warriors are giving him no room to go, obviously. They don't want him to be able to use that speed. Smith shot it in, but it's played right back out. Armstrong will shoot from center, and that gives Willie Marvin a little bit of business. Alan Hasbargen playing it out, playing it too far for everybody. We get another icing call. And we got a first period here, which is going nowhere in a hurry.
Boy, is it ever. We're getting a lot of icings, as you mentioned, Frank, a lot of outside calls, and really not a lot of sustained power. Now Warroad has picked up the pace. At least they've had some good shots. Wyatt Smith, just moments ago, had a good shot from about 15 feet out, right on top of the goaltender once again, as Todd Souther continues to shine for the Broncos at this point in the game. Only 6 shots on net, 5 by the Warriors.
Falls with only one. Was that last shot from center ice? Their shot on goal? Well, they've had more than...
Yeah, they had one earlier. They had a good shot from the point earlier. Chris Rahn stepping in.
Back out at center. It's wrapped away. Hilfer picks it up. Tries her right wing feed. Too far. A race for it. Icing. A little too far in the pass there, so they're misfiring.
Well, you're a defenseman. Nick Stodgel doing a good job of there, trying to make it look like he was going really fast to get to the puck, but actually trying to slow down a little bit to get the icing call.
Stodgel will be the steadiest of their defensemen, a very solid player. Plays very much well within his means.
Now you look at these 2 hockey clubs, the Broncos with 6 juniors and 11 seniors. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got the Warriors with 8 juniors and 7 seniors.
Pass gets away from Joe Fulton. And it's played in deep. Now behind the net, Stodgel tied up. Still was able to get it up on the near side. Tanner shot it out. It shot right back in. And now from behind the net, Hasbargen played it up on the far wall. That's rejected. And Kane Martell goes back for it. Throwing it in. It comes off Hilfer's skate, goes to the side of the net. And Rissanen is there to start the Broncos break out the center. Broken up by Wyatt Smith at the line. And now carried in by Jim Peterson. A drop pass in the slot. Lindquist tries to pull the trigger. Wrapped by Johnson, but not out of the zone. He'll try it again. And it comes free to center ice. Warriors bring it in. 2-man on 3. And the rush goes absolutely nowhere. Back into the corner once more. Finally grabbed by Lindquist once more. And here's Jim Peterson to center ice. He'll throw it in for a line change. And as Johnson waits for that puck, he'll throw it cross rink.
Oh, boy.
My goodness.
Passing has been atrocious.
There it's loose at center.
Like solitaire goes from a white to a dark to a white to a clear.
In the corner zone. And he finds Austin. He'll shoot from center. Well, if we can't penetrate, we'll just fire it in. And then they'll go off on another line change. 1:40 to go in the period. There's Hallett. Comes in on goal. And they jump on it in a hurry. Grabs it, puts it right in front. Center to say, oh, I'm not sure how that puck went wide. By all rights, it should have gone in. Back at the line, Hasbargen shooting. Sefner makes the save, and he holds on. Finally, a flurry, but it's still scoreless. This is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Well, you have to have horseshoes. Todd Souther making a couple of key saves here as you're watching as Warroad controls the puck. He'll come right back out in front here, and all of a sudden Welling comes in. There's the shot right there. And look at the goaltender. He's looking. Where is it? Where is it? Finally, it's cleared by his defense. He's got a lot of white jerseys around him. But Warroad putting the pressure on. But Souther coming in for the big save.
Right from the draw to the Warriors, and at the line, it's played in deep by Stodgel. That was a gamey move by the defenseman who cleared it. Apparently he knew it was going to go wide. No one else did. And a Warroad player upended behind the net. We will have an interference penalty coming up in the first power play of this game, which maybe will add a little zest to the action.
Well, I think it will. Also, it was Kenny Martell who was knocked down on the interference, and of course, you've got to make certain if you're going to knock somebody down that they have got to have the puck. And that's number 20 of the Broncos, Barrett Wolfson, will pick up a penalty. Watch him behind the net right there. And so he is going to go.
Okay, 13:55 the time. And the face-off will be deep in Bronco territory, but International Falls wins that draw in a hurry. A good play by Austin. And they clear it out at center ice. Wyatt Smith centering the power play unit for the Warriors. Carlson back to get it. Let's work. They work it ahead and rejected at center ice by James Armstrong. And here come the Warriors again. Wyatt Smith, he's stripped of the puck, and Austin turns it around in a hurry. Austin and Armstrong have had a very good game checking-wise. Down at center ice is Alan Hasbargen. Oh, boy. He's had a couple of goals for them in their victory over Blake, and he is hobbled.
You hate to see that, too. He's grabbing his left leg right around the knee area. Jimmy Marshall, the young trainer from the University of Minnesota, he said old trainer the other day, and he let me know that that was not correct. And I agree with him. And so the youngsters out there taking care of Hasbargen right now, and you hate to see that. You can see him just grabbing onto that left knee of his.
Well, that's the second knee he's looked at in the tournament, too.
O'Rourke went big, had the dislocated kneecap, and was not able to play in his game. You watch right here, watch it, we'll see how the hit comes right here. There it is on the side. It looks like his own player got into him. That's what it was. You get hit from the side also. And the ligament in that area is so tender when you get hit. He's trying to get up right now.
You know, any athlete who has had a knee injury, and there have been plenty of them who've gone through knee surgery, will know how excruciating that feels.
He should go right to the locker room. That's where he should go, down to the medical room.
Well, 29 seconds left in the period, and he's going to elect to go to the bench here.
Terry Eads, also the coach, is pointing down there, saying maybe you should get him down there now and get some ice on that. And the player wants to get back onto the ice. He's hoping that maybe the pain will go away. And hopefully it will for him, and he'll be able to get back into the game.
Alan Hasbargen, he's a junior left winger. He took that hit. So the face-off, still power play now for the Warriors. And about 25 seconds left to go in the period. Out to center ice. Brought in by Carlson. And it comes loose in the corner. Wyatt Smith heads for the net. Kicks it in front. His backhand goes all the way through. He was trying to set up Stomberg, and Stomberg was plastered on the far wall. Large shot by Austin from center, and it's offside with a second left to go.
Boy, you look at the hands. You look at the hands of Wyatt Smith when he got in close to that net area. Very quick, very soft hands, but very tenacious as well. He's got a purpose in mind. But the Broncos coming right back, getting a good shot, but just the outside call. Armstrong was over the line and said, I will bring the face-off to the center ice area.
So the face-off and the buzzer are just a second apart there at center ice. 53 seconds of Warroad power play will carry over to period number 2. And after a total of 9 shots in this period, only 2 by the Broncos, we are in a scoreless tilt. And there is the left winger, Alan Hasbargen. The winger on the line with Wyatt Smith and Hallett. Gets a bit of an escort from a couple of teammates to head to the training room. And we hope that he will be in good shape, but I would be surprised if we'll see him the rest of this game or perhaps even the weekend. On the DuPont scoreboard, it's the Broncos nothing, the Warriors nothing, and Jeff Grayson is standing by downstairs. All right, thank you very much, Frank. It's not only no goals, but scoring chances were also at a premium in the first period of this game.
They really were. There was not a lot of action. I'd say probably 7-8 minutes into the game. And the one thing, if you're going to win hockey, is you've got to get the puck on the net. And that was one thing that the teams failed to do. Finally, Warroad picking up the pace, but they had a couple of good chances along the way.
Talk to you about one of the quality players on the ice, that being for the Warriors. His name is Wyatt Smith. He's a senior, and he had a pretty good first period. And of the few scoring chances that we had, he had at least 2 of them.
Well, the youngster will be going to the University of Minnesota next year. Let's go with a good, low, hard slap shot. That's what you're trying to do. You can see Hasbargen going in here, too, trying to get control of it, but finally just kicking it with his skate. And finally the play just getting away from that net area. But Warroad hasn't had the best opportunities. We talked about the power he has. Also look at the finesse he has as well. He's going to take this pass. I'm talking about Wyatt Smith again, coming out here. Tries to go on the backhand here. Kicks it up with his skate. Tries to go on the backhand of the far side or perhaps a deflection. Unable to capitalize on the play. It was Warroad, and so we remain scoreless.
All right, everything got pretty much even. I would say International Falls, I guess you have to say both teams did a good job of the neutral zone play, shutting down one another.
Passing was not good at some stretches in this period. One thing they've got to do is capitalize on those passes. They've got to get them on the stick instead of giving it back and forth. Both teams guilty of giving the puck away a lot in that first period.
Passes on the ice, not very sharp, but our man Jim Gilliland is much sharper than I am. Okay, Jim, it's yours.
Sorry, guys. Thanks, Frank and Tom. Hasbargen, sprained knee is the diagnosis, but I guess we won't know until they come out of the dressing room here shortly to take the ice, whether or not he'll be able to go in period number 2. He's not going to be able to go, and he's still been giving me the sign, the low sign, as opposed to the high sign. So unfortunate news for Warroad. We'll come back and see how it's going to evolve when we come back. That is the Northland Ford dealer report for now. We'll see you again next intermission, and we'll be back on the ice with period 2 in a moment at the 1995 Minnesota State High School Boys Hockey Tournament.
Cam gives us a view of the rink here at the Civic Center in St. Paul as the visiting team Warriors lead the rush onto the ice to get ready for period number 2, and we're still scoreless. Show you some more numbers from period number 1, brought to you by U.S. West Direct Yellow Pages. Our stat total will show you the shots on goal. The Broncos just 2, and Warroad with 7. The Broncos will probably get most of their offensive production, Tom, from that top line with John Austin, Mark Dugas, and Jim Armstrong.
I think you're absolutely right, Frank. Beyond that, there's not a lot of firepower there, so they've got to play well defensively at the same time. I was just counting the bodies coming out of the dressing room onto the ice for Warroad. I just saw 18, which tells me that Ryan Tessier may not be back here. We'll wait for that call. Of course, Alan Hasbargen is out of this game for sure. Replica of the announcers here.
Yeah, the troll. I guess that's our director, Mark Herskowitz, statement as to how well we're doing up here. Thank you, Mark. It was nice of you to bring that in.
They're supposed to be in school.
Yeah, they are, but hey, you know, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. It's the high school hockey weekend.
International Falls bringing their band down here. They didn't have enough money initially to do that, and the president of the school band is Eric Bartlett, number 2 of the Broncos, and they finally put together a fundraiser, raising about $6,000 to bring them down here, which is great. A lot of fan support in these two communities.
Folks from, the folks from Duluth were down here in strength, and I felt a little bit like I was on the streets of Duluth with all the celebrating and horn honking that was going on last night after East's win.
Well, I'm sure they're down there and excited to watch, obviously, the high school tournament as well as the opening round of the WCHA with the Bulldogs being down here.
Well, if the Bulldogs are anywhere as hot as the Greyhounds were, the Gophers are going to be in for a real run.
It's going to be quite a weekend.
All right, another 50 seconds of power play now for the Warriors, and we'll also, as we mentioned earlier, keep an eye to see what factor the injuries to Hasbargen and Tessier may have on the Warriors, as that will shorten their bench considerably. Icing here, which is obviously something you don't want to do when you have a power play.
Barrett Olson still in the penalty box for another 39 seconds. And so that face-off, as you mentioned, Frank, you don't want to give up that puck, but it will come back into the Warrior zone right now. Number 20, the youngster.
Draw back to the line. A shot flipped wide of the net by Matt Rissanen. And the Warriors start the breakout. Mark Carlson to center. And Wyatt Smith shoots it in. Puck pried loose in the corner. Controlled by Stomberg for a moment. Stomberg trying to get it loose again. Dilfer behind the net. And he finds John Austin. But that puck was lost at the line, and Carlson's shot is gloved by Sether, and he holds on. Sether, a little championship blood in his background, as his dad was a member of the championship teams of 64 and 65.
That was quite an easy save. Also, Mark Carlson did not want to get the shot as high as he did. He was trying to keep it down, and after he took the shot, he banged his stick on the ice. I think he'd just been disgusted himself for getting up there. He wants it down where his teammates have a chance of getting a deflection with the puck.
Hustling over to get it is Furicet, and now Smith takes the hit. Make that Nels Grafstrom back there for the Warriors. At the line, a screen shot. Big save by Sether just as that penalty expires. And that was critical right there.
It really was. Also, you have Nels Grafstrom coming in there. The puck was underneath the goaltender, and Grafstrom thought he might have a chance to get to it. But Todd Sether doing a good job of just hanging on that puck and covering up. To watch here as the puck comes along the boards, you take the man out, it allows your teammate to get the puck. There's the shot. Look at the traffic there as well.
Now the puck in front of the International Falls net, and it's hauled out of there by Barrett Olson, but he lost it at the line. And now back to get it is Chris Zahn. Zahn picks up a loose puck now, works it to the near side. Low pressure by Stodgel. Stodgel still has his man locked up. No one was at the point. Puck shut all the way down. And an icing call. We'll take a break. With the break in the action, we'll be right back with the 95 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. The championship, the consolation bracket, it's Bloomington Jefferson victor 8-3 over Champlain Park. That game is now over. Back out at center ice. Puck was shot by Shermone, but blocked again, and back to pick it up. Zahn. On the far side, Joe Fulton is checked. Allwelling trying to knock it loose. Stomberg there as well. And they roll it right up the middle. A shot and a goal. A quick shot. And perhaps only the third shot of the game, of the period, gives Warroad a 1-0 lead. You've got to make certain that when you get that puck, you've got to snap it away early. I think that was Nels Grafstrom who gets the shot. Warroad continued to put the pressure on here. This has been a very slowly played game at this point. There's a shot coming. Well, didn't quite see the number of the player who was going to get it. I thought it was Halligan. That is not going to be. It's going to be Zach Hallett coming in there. He's going to take it right here. Watch the shot. He goes up high with it over top of the shoulder of the goaltender. Todd Sether could not handle it. And so Warroad, which looked like it was going to be an easy play, all of a sudden has been able to get the twine, get that first goal. And that's a big goal. I think what you're going to see now, Frank, is a change in the play of this game. I think things are going to open up a little more precise passing, and maybe some better offensive plays. Hallett, his first of the tournament, 20th of the year, and Hasbargen gets the lone assist at 159. Well, Hallett came out of nowhere and then disappeared in a sea of teammates. Took us a while to pry him loose and figure out who it was. Back in the Bronco end. Back to the line. Stodgel shooting, deflected a couple of times. It goes into the corner. This is John Austin. Uses the rail to try to play it ahead for Armstrong, but it's too far. And an icing call. Jeff and Andy still standing by downstairs. Jeff, go ahead.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Talked with Warroad coach Terry Eads at the break. He thought Warroad controlled the majority of that first period, but had little to show for it on the scoreboard. He was in a very, very down mood, of course, with the injuries. He said it was going to be a tall order winning this game, losing two guys like that. As for International Falls, Kevin Gordon said they've got to move their feet more, move that puck better. He said they were kind of slow on their feet, try to create some pressure. Now, for an injury update, let's go over to Andy Stugman. Andy?
Jeff, bad news from the trainer's room for Warroad. Ryan Tessier has a sprained right knee. He'll undergo x-rays tonight. He just came back from surgery on his left knee, so not good news for him. As for Alan Hasbargen, he will not return. He was helped off the ice by two of his teammates after the first period. He has stretched ligaments in his left knee. So bad news for Warroad. Let's go upstairs.
Thanks very much, guys, for the update. I'm sure the folks in the community up north, up in Warroad, very anxiously wanting to know how their boys are doing. And stretch sounds a little worse than a sprain, but no trainer either. But
that's a tough loss for that team when you lose two players of that caliber out in the same period. That certainly does make for an interesting combination now, as we'll see how Kerry Eads adjusts his makeup of his hockey club. Who's going to go with who? But that goal is going to go to Zach Callan, a milestone, if you will. It's his 20th goal of the season. The assist will go to Matt Unwelling. Just one assist on that. So Warroad leads by a score of 1-0.
the final note on the players' loss, Hasbargen, a junior, and a first-line left winger, and Tessier, their only senior defenseman, and on their top defensive pair. So we'll see how the Warriors adjust. They're aided in part by the Hallett goal, his 20th, to give them a 1-0 lead.
There's not much flow to this game right now. We had about 5 whistles in the first minute and a half, and that continues to be kind of the game plan here right now.
Not my game plan.
Yeah, both teams a little bit guilty, I think, of making those errant passes, the icing calls, a little bit anxious perhaps on the offsides as well. And so neither team really able to sustain a lot of offensive power.
From the face-off, a shot is blocked and then comes loose, and a quick shot on goal. Marvin has to make a big save on Barron Olsen.
Olsen with that quick shot, and we talked about it earlier, it's so important to get the shot away in a hurry. It looked like there was a crowd of people there, and suddenly he came up with it, took the quick shot, but Willie Marvin down in that butterfly position saw it just in time and just covered up. You watch right, look at the bodies right here. The first shot is going to be blocked right here, but watch for number 20. All of a sudden he comes out of the pile. There's the second shot coming, and Marvin makes a save.
From the face-off, the Warriors work it as far as the line, but is put right back in by Shermone. And Stodgel behind the net. Ball keeping the pressure on. A check thrown there by Dugas. Right at the side, Marvin is saved. They'll try the wraparound. It won't work. Austin playing it to the line. Zahn shooting it in deeper. They duck the check. It's centered in front. A shot and a goal. The game is tied. John Austin breaking free on that far wing. I think he was the one to tuck it in.
Yes, I believe he was also coming down. He's a center iceman, but he was in a position on the wing, as you mentioned, Frank, moving into the center ice, looking for a pass coming here. Armstrong working with a puck along the boards. He comes up with a puck. There's where you win the game. All of a sudden, he spots Austin on the far side. Austin come in. That quick release. That's what we talk about. Don't give the goaltender a chance to set up. Going in on the short side, and very quickly the Broncos have tied up the game at 1.
Very important for them to answer, and they do it fairly quickly within about 2 minutes to tie this game at 1. Austin getting the goal. And we'll get the full scoring for you in a moment. We know that Armstrong certainly had a key assist there, but the Falls not a lot of offense, but when they struck quickly with the break in the action. We'll be right back with the 95 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Well, John Austin scoring his 21st goal of the season. He picked up 2 in the first game of the tournament. The assist to Jim Armstrong, and also to Mark Dugas. And so the Broncos have battled back to tie it at 1. Both goals coming in this period.
So nice work by that entire line of the Broncos. We have a
high sticking call.
Sticking call. A penalty.
Yeah, it's going to go against the Broncos. You don't want to sit in the penalty box unless you absolutely have to. And sometimes you get a little carried away there, but that's going to be one of their top guys, too, the senior right winger, Armstrong, who's going to be called on the high stick. Very tough competitor, tough hockey player.
40-point player coming into the weekend. 12, yep, there he is up over, yep. And a little reach with the hook, too.
Good call by the official.
Power play for Warroad. And it's worked in by Stodgel. Puck flipped around again, right in front, a scramble, and it's shot down. Still lots of time as we played 5 minutes here of the second period. Hasbargen, Adrian, that is, out from behind his own net. They flip it through to the near corner. And it's picked off in front, played back to the line. Stodgel waiting, shooting. It's loose. Sether the save, a wraparound try. Won't go. And someone's knocked the goal loose conveniently.
Well, the Warriors putting pressure on the power play, but they could not get it in behind the goaltender, Todd Sether. He was down and flat on the ice, and they were trying to do the stuff around to begin with. You watch the play here as all of a sudden Stodgel takes a shot. There's the defense knocking it down. Then the puck just squirts wide of the net, and all of a sudden Unwilling comes in there looking to put it in, but he could not get the puck up high enough, and finally someone, I think, intentionally knocked that net off of its magnets. They did not get called on it. We see that a lot. And if you get called, you can be called for delay of game on the play. Oh, they got it. They did get it. They got Hilfer. And that's a good call also. That when you're in position, and if you'll notice, Hilfer was down on the ice, and he just took his glove and just shoved there. So now Warroad will have a two-man advantage.
And a long one. 1:14 seconds. Puck jumps back behind the net. Rissanen had a piece of it for the Broncos. Gets it up to Austin on the near side, and he one-hands it to center and into the Warrior end. Mark Carlson back to get it. A tie game, and a good play at the line by Rissanen to strip him of the puck and shoot it all the way down now. Still 45 seconds on the two-man advantage. Left side pass brought in by Kane Martell. They drop it back. This is Hallett. Kane Martell behind the net. Looking for Wyatt Smith at the right point. Carlson. Center right through, and Hallett pushed it wide. Smith over to Carlson again. Slap shot goal! A rising rocket, and on the power play, Warroad has regained the lead 2-1.
A good shot, as you mentioned, Frank, but also a very good play passing the puck around. When you have a two-man advantage, you've got to capitalize on that. And that's exactly what they did. As you watch Warroad move the puck, you see Smith with the puck, get the right across to Carlson. He just unloads one there. It didn't look like the goaltender was screened at all, but he was not able to handle it. And so Warroad has scored in the power play, and they take the lead by 1.
Carlson, Smith, Van Hallett connect at 6:19. Still a little over a minute of power play if they needed to get another goal. And out at center ice, they work it to Hallett again. He brings it in. He takes the hit on the far side. Wyatt Smith jammed up. Hallett gets it, centered it for Smith, deflected away, and taken back behind the net by Zahn. It's still loose back there. Armstrong trying to get free. Blasted by Zahn and all the way down. 35 more seconds to go on the power play and the penalty to Hilfer. Wyatt Smith catches the puck, full stride, brings it in over the line, and the puck goes into the corner. Down off the glass and right back to center it rolls. Joe Fulton goes after it, but it was knocked away from him. And now Carlson, and out at center, they work it back in. Kane Martell centers it. It's loose in the slot. Carlson trying to keep it alive. Great stick handling, centered it. Backhand, it's in the crease and cleared away. Grafstrom had the shot, and Sether made the save. Penalty to Hilfer is over, and the puck is shot in. Back at the line, Stodgel shooting it went wide. Allwelling played it in deeper. Hilfer shooting it back around. And a block there by Furuseth. Now Hilfer goes after the puck. Knocks it around looking for Zahn. Zahn was trapped, gets the puck anyway. Hilfer gains control, and the defenseman shoots from center ice, and Marvin plays it away into the corner. Adrian Hasbargen. Got it out at center. Oh, they're going to get away with that one. Looked like it was a check from behind by Bilbin, but play goes on. And Matt Allwelling is just getting up from that check and heading over to the bench. Boy, the Warriors are taking a beating here physically and injury-wise. Seems like everything that's going to go wrong for him is going wrong.
It has been. That looked like it should have been a penalty from second from behind, but the officials let it go. And right now, the Warriors down 2 men because of injuries in this game. They don't need somebody else to have to go off the ice because of it.
There they will be called for icing and probably could use the time to regroup. 2-1 our score. This is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Nelson, who has a goal in this game already, makes a great play here to get the puck to Nels Grafstrom. Rots right here on the back end. Watch where the puck goes. Unwilling able to get to it as his momentum is carrying to the other side. He's also being pulled over that way by Sherman at the same time. Watch this hit right here. You got your back to the play. You're facing the boards. That definitely should have been a penalty and possibly a major penalty.
Yeah. So 6:05 to go, period 2. Warroad with a 2-1 lead. And about that kind of a margin in shots on goal, 13-6 at this point. Icing here against the Warriors. Penalty boxes are empty.
13 shots by Warroad right now. International Falls has responded with just 6 shots in this game.
Yeah, nice buddy. Just yanked him right off of television. John Austin in for the face-off for the Broncos against Wyatt Smith. Puck loose in front of the net and taken quickly by Carlson back behind the net. He clears it up around the rail and it's back out at center. Austin goes for it again. Austin took a bump but stayed on his skates. Boy, he took a mighty jolt too. Hallett at center tried to play it ahead. And it comes free to Smith. And he shoots it in. Hallett reaching for it, but Hilford takes it away. Very disciplined game here for the Broncos. And they pick it up. To center ice. Dugas centering it, reaching for it, and checked off the play very well. Defensively, the Warriors are playing nearly flawless. Here comes Smith. Yeah, make that Grafstrom. Five minutes left in the period. Shot deflected away. And a hit by Furrest in the corner. Zahn is there, reaching for it, plays it up on the wall. Dugas to pick it up. Tried to feed a pass through to a teammate, Olsen. He was in a crowd. He breaks free, gets a shot off, rebound, a goal! And give all the credit to Barrett Olsen. And line mate Fulton stuffs it in to tie the game.
When you see this replay, watch how much effort he puts into that shot as well. Fulton really let it go, but Olsen doing a good job of just determination to get to that puck. 3 players he had to go around and finally gets to it. He takes the first shot. Look at the rebound. Willie Marvin getting a big rebound there. And coming in from that far side, Joe Fulton, the senior, he just does as you mentioned, Frank. And that was a hard shot because he had that stick. He was almost touching the ceiling with the top of that stick when he had it in that high position.
Give Dugas an assist on that as well. At 10:21, tied at 2, and the Broncos are being a bit feisty about this. Out at center, and play continues with Carlson controlling. Knocked down with a glove at the line by Zahn, played by a teammate, and we have a whistle and a stoppage. So the score is tied at 2, and this is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Well, a key goal for International Falls, if they have tied up the game, they have scored 2 goals on just 8 shots. So when you've got a goaltender having some problems, you continue to shoot as much as you possibly can. Big rebound there, came right over to Fulton, who just put it away.
And the draw to the Broncos from center ice, Zahn shoots it in. A 2-2 game, all of the goals here in the second period. Long lead pass picked up at center ice. Kane Martell ran into a crowd. Then an interception by Smith and shooting it in. Here come the Broncos, led by Austin. 2 players still locked up back in the corner. They get up all right. Racing ahead, Sherman shooting. And it rolls loose to the side. Dugas had a poke at it. Fired in front of goes all the way through. Smith to pick it up. Wyatt Smith has not been a real big factor in this one thus far. Now he'll start to race to the head. They finally checked it away from him, but kind of an infraction out of that, a slash. Perhaps that's what it was that knocked that puck loose from Wyatt Smith. The Broncos are going to go short here.
Wyatt Smith controlling the puck, and the problem is when you beat one guy, there's somebody else there. Usually what you try to do is beat one guy, then make the play, but all of a sudden you have 3 guys coming on top of him, and this youngster right here, James Armstrong, is going to pick up a slashing penalty to put his team shorthanded. That coming in 11 minutes and 34 seconds of the second period with the score tied at 2.
The second penalty he takes this period. And we'll give Warroad a boost here in a tie hockey game. Warriors have gotten goals from Hallett, Carlson, Austin, and Fulton, scoring for International Falls. Grafstrom gets it in. Blocked at the line and back out at center. And Carlson to pick it up. I tell you, if Stodgel, number 4, is their steadiest defenseman, and his sophomore partner, Mark Carlson, is a very close second. Playing very well. Grafstrom looking for a puck to come free. It goes behind the net. Rissanen trying to knock it away. Ilford nearly gave it away, got some help. They can't get it out. Stomberg shooting, deflected a couple of times. It goes wide. Allwelling, who is back on the ice after taking that check from behind at center, is here on the power play. A near giveaway, but a good recovery back at center. And it's Carlson to control. Waits for his teammates to change, and as they shoot it in, it's offside. Still a minute on the power play.
Trying to control on the power play there. Once again, the wingers just getting a little bit anxious on there. But you talk about the defensemen playing together and being steady, Frank. You need the time to play with each other, to get used to each other as far as the chemistry of a team goes. And you start to understand what the other player will do in certain situations. You talk on the ice as much as you can, but at the same time, by playing with each other so often, you also know exactly what that player is going to do in some key situations.
Face off at center ice, and the puck comes all the way back into the Warroad end. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Kane Martell to center in the Bronco territory. And he shoots it to the right wing corner. Back at the line, Adrian Hasbargen. Kane Martell. Hasbargen again. A hammering shot by Smith that goes wide. And Martell turns it back in. It's centered. Smith reaching for it. Wrapped away from him by Austin, who can really dart. And now we have a puck sailing into the Warroad bench, so we get a stoppage.
You mentioned Austin's got that quickness. 155 pounds at 5'9", but he's got the speed also to be able to get up on those skates and just run. And so often the smaller guys in height-wise are able to do just that. The bigger guys have more of a difficult time, more lumbering at times to get going and get to a full speed.
22 seconds left on the power play. 1:48 to go in period 2, as you see on our scoreboard. Shot is deflected. It comes bouncing down in the left wing circle. Warroad regains control. And Hallett, number 2, is there. Point man is Adrian Hasbargen. Rissanen behind the net. Hallett gets the puck loose. And the penalty is over. Bronco penalty killers do the job again. Giving up 1 power play goal in 4 times short. There's yet to be a Warroad penalty here. And Warroad, we anticipated, would be the much more physical of the team. Bruising, punishing, hard-nosed. Oh, nice save by Sether. But they haven't caught a penalty here. Of course, they're already 2 men short on the bench due to injuries, and so they're going to be extra careful, I would imagine. We have a puck underneath one of the players, under a Warroad player, so we'll face it off at center. It's a 2-2 game. This is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Once again, offsides really take away from the flow of this hockey game, which really hurts both of these hockey clubs.
Chris Zahn working it ahead. Mark Dugas goes in after it. Dugas, number 2 in scoring during the regular season in the IRC. That in goal production, by the way. Number 2 in goal production. He had 19 during the regular season. And finally, Warroad with control. First set, one man back. It's on. He's got him beat. A big save by Sether. And now the Broncos with a 3-on-2. A drop pass in the slot. A shot for save by Marvin as he makes a big stop on Derek Philbin. End to end.
Boy, has it ever been. And both goaltenders coming up with some key saves in that little play there. But the team's trying to break out here and get some offensive power going.
Oh, at the horn. A hard shot by John Austin high off the glass, and it comes down. And the period comes to an end with a flourish. Big saves at either end. Critical saves in a 2-2 game here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. And Kerry Eads' group as well as the group coached by Kevin Gordon are in for a tussle in the third. Semi-final action and a chance for a championship will hinge on the next 15 minutes of play here at the Civic Center.
You watch the players going into the dressing room, and I don't think either team satisfies it with where they are right now, especially Warroad. They came into it with maybe a little bit of an advantage according to some people, but you have to give them credit too. They've also had 2 key injuries in this game that take them out of the lineup, so you really have to juggle your lines, and that takes a lot out of the team. And I would think that Coach Kerry Eads would expect the rest of those players to pick up the slack there a little bit. On the other hand, you've got the Broncos out of International Falls, who came into this and played extremely well in this period. They're shutting down Warroad. Warroad won the first game they met this year by a score of 4-0. But right now we're down to 15 minutes.
The Lincoln Mercury Dealers Association shows us that it's a 2-2 hockey game here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. Kerry Eads, the coach of the Warriors, standing by with Jeff Grayson.
All right, thanks a lot, Frank. Coach, you're tied at 2. What do you think of the second period?
Well, you know, it's a heavyweight battle out there. We're going back and forth, and they made a couple of big plays, and so did we. And, you know, it's just 2 good teams going at it.
Injury-wise, how does that affect you now? Obviously, you lose 2 good players out there to knee injury.
Well, we lose our captain, our only senior defenseman, and our left winger on our first line. But, you know, you can't use that as an excuse. You just got to suck it up and have an opportunity for some other people to step forward. We've had that all year.
Last question. What do you concentrate on now as you tell the guys as you get ready for the third period?
Well, I like the way we played the game. We've been very aggressive. I thought we've made some smart plays. I think we've had the better of the scoring opportunities. We just have to keep persevering.
Thanks, Coach. We'll let you get in the dressing room. That's Warroad coach Kerry Eads. We are tied at 2 from the Civic Center, and we'll return to St. Paul, the state hockey tournament, when we come back.
Well, the home team is Broncos.
Back in the second intermission, the Northland Ford reports you. Pulling back with you. It's scoreless after 1 period, International Falls and Warroad. It is now 2-2, and there's plenty to talk about. Let's go back up to Frank and Tom.
Jim, thank you very much. A very interesting period of hockey, and a more interesting one coming up as we see how the Warriors are able to play now a couple of men short. But a little goal production here finally this afternoon.
Finally did, and I think that's what everyone was looking for. 4 goals in that period, and pretty good goals, too.
All right, let's stoke up the tape machines and bring you a look at the highlights from period number 2.
You're going to see the first name by Zach Hallett. He just takes that quick pass by Matt Unwelling, puts it right in on that short side, and that was a big goal. I think everyone thought at this point, okay, now it's going to open up here a little bit, and it did. The floodgates were open, and both teams able to get on the scoreboard.
Hallett got his 20th. 2 minutes later, Austin his 21st to tie it.
Good control also. You watch right here as he gets the pass across from Armstrong, and he just lets that quick shot go, and there's the key, Frank. So often you'll get a player who will hang on to it, and finally the opening is gone. He let the shot go quickly, and as a result was rewarded with a goal.
2-man power play here for Warroad.
Good play here. Defensive defense, and all of a sudden that long shot by Carlson. Good quick shot, too, on the short side. The power play goal, as you mentioned, made it 2-1 in favor of Warroad.
A great rush here by Olsen. This made the whole play.
It sure did, because he comes in here, and you'll watch how he looks, and he takes the shot, and look at the rebound. This is not a good rebound, and Joe Fulton just came in. Boy, he buried that one. No one was going to deny him the goal on that shot.
Olsen's rush just before that pass I think he battled through at least 3 and maybe 4 Warriors before he was able to get to that loose puck. All right, so it's 2-2 at the end of 2 periods of play. And let's go back to Jim Gilliland.
Thanks, Ben. That's the Northland Ford dealer report for this intermission. 1 stanza to go to find out who's going to join the Tino Greats in tomorrow afternoon's Class A final. Our coverage will continue from the 1995 Minnesota State High School Boys Hockey Tournament.
Civic Center in downtown St. Paul, where a couple of schools from up north are here. International Falls and Warroad. And it's not a classic tussle, but it's a 2-2 tussle. And here is a look at our U.S. West Direct Yellow Pages shots on goal for 2 periods of play. 8-7 in that second period. And now 15-9 for the Warriors through 2 periods of play. I say not classic, Tom, because I think Warroad traditionally might go at a game a tad bit more physically than we're seeing here. They certainly played that way during the regular season, we're told.
They do, but the Broncos have also stepped up, I think, their physical play in this game as well. They've taken some hits. They've given some hits. And what's also interesting when you look at that second period, the fact that Warroad was on the power play almost 7.5 minutes in that period lends itself to the fact that they did not get a lot of shots. They only had 8 shots compared to 7. And so when you've got that much of an advantage of manpower, you should be able to get more shooting power coming, and they're not getting that right now. And so as we go into the third period, we're still where we were at the start of this hockey game, tied up. And now it's down to the teams and the coaches, respectively, to see if they can get something going for the last 15 minutes. Of course, Kerry Eads has had a couple players out, but you've got to give a lot of credit also to Kevin Gordon. He's done a good job with his squad here. Coming back in from the Iron Range Conference this year, 16th trip to state.
Now, if you're just joining us, we'll mention that Alan Hasbargen and the defenseman Ryan Tessier, both first-line players, out with knee injuries and not going to return here today. That puts an increased load in the top, 6 or 8 players in the lineup.
Yeah, they've moved that Kane Martell into the line with Wyatt Smith and also Zach Callett.
It's rushed in deep by Dugas. Wraparound try. It goes all the way through. Puck's still loose in the corner there.
Oh, boy.
Somebody, the old domino theory there. If I hit the front guy in the pile, the whole pile will go down, and it did. Warriors icing here. So I found out also between periods, Tom, that under open enrollment, Alan Hasbargen is really from International Falls, so that adds to a little bit of the intensity here.
It sure does.
This game.
Here's a good play by Dugas right here. A big, tall, rangy player able to get the puck, trying to come in the wraparound play. Willie Marvin making the save and finally just allowing the puck to go off into the far corner.
And a chance at the side. And a wraparound wouldn't work. Barrett Olson blocked at the line. It comes loose and wrapped away quickly by Shermone. And back deep. We're a minute into the third and tied at 2. Carlson from behind his own net worked it up on the far wing. It was blocked. It slipped back in. And now carried to center by Bo Johnson, who shoots. He shot it wide. And Sethler is there to watch it. And he holds on.
Well, you saw that puck bouncing, coming back in off the board. The shot by Johnson just a little bit wide of the net. And he elected to hang on to it because as it's coming in there, he's not sure if his defenseman is going to be able to handle it the way it was bounced. So he just puts the big glove down, grabs onto it, and that'll bring the face-off in his own zone.
Right from the draw, back to the line. A shot is deflected and trickles into the corner. And the Warriors will try to work it right out in front. Good coverage in front. That puck can't get through. And Broncos start to move to center. Nice skating by Lundqvist. It's shot down, but before they cross centered, so an icing call. There's a break in the action, and we'll be right back with the 95 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament.
Once again, as we've seen in the first 2 periods, early on, a lot of whistles.
And here the Broncos take it back behind their own net. Out to center right. Lundqvist. They get it in. And the shot's rejected in a hurry. And then played in deep by Jim Peterson. Going down now to the third line for the Broncos right now. And from center, Adrian Hasbargen brings it in and gets a long shot off. And Sether makes the save. He's playing a very cool game in net. Todd Sether, the senior, played cool enough this year to earn 4 shutouts for the Broncos. Now they're stripping the puck. Kane Martell bringing it in, but someone's still inside the Bronco zone, so it's offside.
A little bit slow on getting up. That was Matt Ulwelling who was coming out of the zone and cleared the outside. He got trapped up in the corner. There's a couple of players got tangled down there.
Jeff and Andy have a different perspective on things happening here. Guys, bring us an update.
All right, thanks a lot, Frank. Talking with Kerry Eads, who's coming off the ice in between periods. Boy, that team is very intense, and it starts with him. He's very intense as they begin the third period. Wants his team to keep initiating things, and he told us, you heard him, he doesn't want the injuries to be used as an excuse. In fact, I think Warroad's depth being shown. Now, they got two goals in the second period after losing 2 of their starters. For the other side of the story, here's Andy Skubin with the International Falls coach.
Jeff, Kevin Gordon says Warroad hasn't allowed his Broncos to play their game. He says they have to start moving their feet. Warroad has them on their heels, but Kevin Gordon says he's confident his team will come out on top. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go back upstairs.
Andy, thanks very much. Gordon had very similar comments after the first about moving their feet. I think positionally, defensively, the Broncos are playing quite well.
Yeah, they really have been. I think also when you get into this element of the game, you know you got to play your game. You can't allow the other team really to dictate how you're going to play.
Another player from Warroad down, but they're not going to blow the whistle, and now they finally do. And is that Kane Martell? I believe
Yes,
it is.
They've already got 2 down, but that looked like a high stick that came up there. We'll see what unfolds here.
The referee was right there and actually skated by him. Must have felt he was going to be okay. While they tend to him, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with the 95 Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournaments. Makes it over to the bench. No signs of a cut, but might have taken a stick up in the throat. That could hurt.
You'll watch the play right here as it starts to come out. All of a sudden, the player's there.
A little lockup.
And there's the stick. You can see it coming up, and you can see the player putting his hands in the air, too, saying, I didn't mean to do it. And that's probably the case, but nonetheless, it could have been called as a penalty.
12 minutes. Although with the official right there, Tom, I have a feeling he may have seen the intensity of the hit or maybe determined that it was just a couple players locking up. Chet Furuseth brings it in for the Warriors. Game tied at 2. This is a semifinal action. And Warroad, of course, hoping to defend their Class A title, which they earned last year. From center, it's shot in by Austin. Broncos make a change. Long lead for Hallett. If they connect, it's a nice pass. If they don't, it's icing, and it's icing. That was a long one. Those are tough to complete, especially when you got a couple of guys on you. Yeah. He wasn't exactly wide open.
There's talk a lot of the northern schools may petition to go up into the Class AA tournament next year, looking at the strength of their programs and so on. That'll be interesting to see what happens here over the next week or so as these decisions are made.
Well, I felt last year with with schools such as the Falls, Warroad, Hibbing going to the A side, that they basically were a saving grace for the tournament last year. And what will happen if they make the switch, we don't know. We also saw that South St. Paul, one of the smallest schools in AA, is elected to stay AA.
I think you really have to look, obviously, at the commitment they make at the school, too, and the strength of those programs. I mean, you can have some large schools that have very few people who come out for hockey.
Right.
And we've seen that before, and yet you've got small schools that may have 6 times as many people come out for hockey. So,
well, look at Johnson from St. Paul. I think they only had like 26 kids try out for the team this year.
That's all they had. Remember Roosevelt last year, too, I believe it was.
Here's a chance for the Broncos up the middle, but the shot hits a body in front, and play is called, and they dodge the bullet there.
Oh, defensive lapses also. Willie Marvin, still down in his pads right now, was able to grab out of that puck, but International Falls putting a lot of pressure on right here. Control is the name of the game. Look at Marvin as he moves right out here. Has to be able to take that shot right in the midsection. And a good save also as Lundqvist comes in there and from point-blank range, able to take the shot, put him in a good function for him, is able to pull that to the left and then come in on that open side, but he elected to take the shot right away.
Austin ready for this face-off. And when you see that puck laying there with your name on it, though, you're right. 2-2 hockey game. And we're going to have an icing, though. They'll wave it off. Zahn back to get it. The Warriors are changing. They better hurry. Zahn goes cross rink in his own end. That was dangerous. Armstrong brings it in. He's got a man up the middle. It's Austin, but they can't deliver it to him. And Warroad with the breakout to center. Kane Martell led that breakout pass, so he is okay after taking the stick up high. Here's Martell with the puck, sending it to the side. Hallett pops it in front for Smith. Here's a shot by Martell. Played ahead with a glove. To the line, not out. And Stodgel plays it in. Hallett shoots it wide. Stodgel waits. His shot is blocked. Back to the line. Hasbargen lines it up and lets it go. And Sether makes a fine save in traffic. Here comes Armstrong 1-on-2. At the Warroad line, he goes outside. Hasbargen rides him to the rail, and the pass hits the back of the net. Now a hit thrown by Fulton. Hallett waiting for it, but can't control it. Might be icing again here against the Warriors. Nope, they're going to wave it off. Rissanen behind his own net tries a right wing pass. That's too far for everybody. And this puck just kind of dying there. It's tough to get icing when the ice is slow. Somebody put some stickum on the ice. Carlson. And now it's flipped to center ice by Tanner Martell and then into the Broncos zone. Rissanen back to get it. Hilfer shooting it back around the other way. Blocked there by Stomberg. Back to the line. Johnson shooting into the corner. Back into the corner again. Rissanen with a check. Here's Stomberg. Centering it. Broken up by Stecker. Boy, what a terrific game he's played. And blocked at the line. Shot in deeper by Carlson. Coming up on 8 minutes left in regulation time. We're tied at 2. Rissanen behind the net, tied up by Rocky Reibold. So I think we're seeing some of the reserves come in for the Warriors. Not having a lot of whistles here right now. The regulars will need a bit of a breather. And this puck cleared all the way down. It'll be icing against International Falls. And a face-off back in the Bronco end. The score is tied at 2. This is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center. Folks, you could win a $3,000 vacation package in the First Bank Tournament Sweepstakes. Just stop in at any First Bank location to ask about First Bank's home equity loan, and then enter the First Bank Tournament Sweepstakes. Grand prize winners will be announced during halftime of the Boys AA Basketball Championship, live on KMSP TV, UPN 9, so register to win. 7.5 to go, regulation. 2-2 the score. And at center ice, a long shot by Armstrong, wide of the net. Hasbargen. This is Stodgel. Hallett. And off the wall to get it in over the line. Nice block. And it's played by Shermone to center. Here comes Austin. And he is forced outside. Goes down in a heap in the corner, along with Stodgel. Stodgel back to get it. And he wanted to ice it. He wanted that change. And the whistle.
I think both these teams get a little tired right now, Frank. We had mentioned before the ice was they're having some problem with the ice, according to some of the players, a little bit slow perhaps. That takes a lot out of you. And the fact also that Warroad is down on their bench right now with just a couple of key injuries. Putting some extra load on the other players, and so when you get in that situation, you're gasping for air. Get it down the ice, get a stoppage if you have to.
Boreal, Lundqvist won the draw, the shot right on. Lundqvist on the rebound, and it goes wide. Boom, big hit in the corner. And it's back out at center. The hit thrown by the Falls' Joe Fulton. Fulton reaching for the puck at center. And here comes Lundqvist again. And the slot, they lose control. And here comes Furuseth. Dodges a check. The shot stopped by Sether. Boy, he had a man 3 on the left wing, too, who was ready to pick up any kind of a rebound to that side. But Sether was able to play it to the near boards instead of the far. Dugas bringing it in to his backhand. He is held. There'll be a penalty. A delayed call at a critical point. A slap shot by Zahn goes high. And played in deeper by Shermone. And as the Warriors gain control, a holding penalty will be going their way with 6 minutes left in regulation in a 2-2 game.
This is the only power play of this hockey game for International Falls. It is a holding call. Watch the player once again. You've got as a defenseman, you can see he lost his stick. What's he going to do now? Just grabs on, and he has called for that. And so the penalty will go against number 4, Nick Stadgel. And that's a tough place to be as you are in a tie hockey with just a little under 6 minutes to go.
Stadgel off. And amazingly, as you mentioned, Tom, just the first power play coming up here for the Broncos. They will send the Austin line out. No surprise there. Wyatt Smith is out as one of the forwards for the Warriors. And from the draw, the Broncos control. This is Austin. He heads right for the net. And Marvin came out with a big stick to knock it away. Austin hangs on. Now this is Armstrong. Back to Austin in the corner. Here comes Armstrong. 360 all the way around. And maybe he's going for a second lap here.
He's going to get tired.
Austin puts it in the net for a goal. Oh, my. Oh, Marvin is stunned in disbelief.
I think he has a power play goal. They've only had one, but they made the most of it. We talked about him making the 360 a couple of times there, but maybe that was their game plan. Who knows? But nonetheless, not a good goal from that angle as Austin puts it away. You watch Austin go on the left of your screen right now. All of a sudden, the puck comes on that side. There's the shot. It had to deflect off of somebody. Not quite sure, but a power play goal. The assist going to Armstrong and also to number 3, Paul Hilfer.
Well, that only took about 29 seconds on the power play. And Austin picks up his second of the tournament. I beg your pardon, second of the day. 4th of the tournament. And 22 for the year. So International Falls never had a lead until this point of the game. And they are now 5 minutes away from advancing here. But the Warriors will have a lot to say about that. Now an interception. Shermone got it to center and it's taken away by Stadgel. Wyatt Smith, who has not been a factor in this game, fired a shot off a leg. Now to center. Brought in by Fulton. And it goes into the corner. Rolls loose behind the net. Carlson to get it again. Now it's picked up by Hasbargen. Carlson can't get it out of the zone. Zahn shooting, deflected, and it goes into the corner. And a real pitch duel there. All of this helping the Broncos because the clock is in their favor right now. 4 minutes left in regulation. International Falls is ahead by a goal. Matt Rissanen chased from behind his net, but he got it out to Armstrong at center. The drop to Austin. Austin shooting. He shot it high. Armstrong with the rebound. Armstrong puts it in front, and it's batted away. To the line, but not out. And played in deeper by Hilfer. Now batted at by Johnson. and cleared. It hit the referee, and it bounced right to Stomberg, but now taken away by Lundqvist. And in turn, controlled by Bo Johnson. Flipped in over the line by Rocky Reibold.
Frank, that goal, I think, obviously has given International Falls some additional life here right now. They're controlling the puck very well. They're getting the shots away. They have really gone to the offensive mind, although they know the importance of playing the defense.
Oh, a giveaway there, and it bounced away from Al Welling. And the Broncos this time are the team to dodge a bullet. Rissanen behind the net. Around on the left wing side. A rush for the puck. Lundqvist got it out. Hilford drops it back. Rissanen trying to play it ahead. It gets through everybody, but touched at center, or could have been. So there's no icing under 3 minutes in regulation. From center ice, played by Shermone back in. And it comes loose to Zach Hallett. He lost it. Shermone keeps it alive for the Broncos. Wyatt Smith over to pick it up, and he's in trouble. Taken away by Armstrong, centering it. And Dugas was upended, and play goes on. Smith to center. Hallinan over the line. Stripped of the puck, and it's played by Austin to Armstrong. He's got Dugas breaking. Dugas leads it ahead, and the defenseman Carlson there to take it away. Now 2 minutes left in regulation. Warriors work at the center, and it's batted away by Armstrong.
Warriors doing a good job just getting the puck back in. The quick line change gets the pressures on the ice they're looking for.
Out to center ice. Reibold tried to get, Welling tried to get it in. It's rejected. Bounces free. The Broncos nurse it in. It hits the referee. Still not out of the zone. And still trapped in there for a shot by Fulton that goes behind the net. The breaks were not there for the Warriors. We've got a piece of cloth, I think, out on the ice at center. It rolls loose. Batted free to the near board. And now Marvin is there to play the puck. 1:15 to go in regulation time. And a pass is a bad one, and it'll be icing against Warroad. We'll take a quick break. The score, International Falls 3, Warroad 2. This is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center.
International Falls doing a good job in this third period, getting the only goal to go ahead. 1:10 to go now in this third period, and they have not let up at all, Frank. They've had a very strong game. One of the keys of this game is the fact that Wyatt Smith has really been shut down. He has not had the game that we saw in the first game, and you have to give the Broncos a lot of credit because they have not allowed him to really get untracked in this game.
So we're about 1:05 away from being in a position to crown 2 league champions this year. Under a minute to go now. Warroad in front of their own net. It hops off a skate. Smith has to turn for it. They get it out at center. Kane Martell in over the line. That puck is loose but taken away. And shot by Zahn out of play. 41 seconds left. 3-2 to score. This is High School Hockey 95, live from the St. Paul Civic Center. Well, a dandy finish. We had a sluggish start to the first game and a dandy finish. And now here, a terrific third period. And Kerry Eads, I think, timed the commercial just perfectly, Tom. Sensing that it was about time for a face-off, he called for his own timeout to give his troops a little bit. He's out on the ice, having the clinic there to allow more room on the bench for his guys to sit. Well, you're looking at the Bronco bench there, and Kevin Gordon.
And he's got some things to say as well. And what he's saying right now is play smart, play defensive. We don't want the face-off deep on our end. So if you get the puck, let's play it off the boards, angle, or whatever we have to do. We don't want to take any unnecessary chances, but we have to be smart. Kerry's on the other sense is saying, hey, guys, we need some offense here. We're not getting it from our big guys. Where are you? We need you. Let's get the puck in and go from there. We've got the extra attacker because the goaltender, Willie Marvin, has been pulled from the net. That's been one of their problems. They've had 3 goals scored against them on just 13 shots. And when you look at those shooting percentages, that is extremely high. Pick
opportunity, what turns out to be the go-ahead goal from a very shallow angle that I think Tom rolled up off Marvin, and I don't know that it hit Carlson out front.
It hit something else. Obviously, it was not a direct goal going in there, but it looked like it changed direction. And when you get those goals on those short sides, boy, that can be deflating. And right now, the champions of the 94 tournament have got 42 seconds to tie up this game and put it into overtime.
Smith, Kane Martell, Zach Hallett, they're among the forwards out there. There's 6 skaters for the Warriors, and it's back to center. There's a look at the clock. And the Broncos, we get a whistle here with 33.2. Broncos hoping to unseat last year's champions.
Well, that takes about almost 10 seconds off the clock, and that's exactly what happens. It's all in the center ice zone. Nothing has really transpired here, but 10 seconds have ticked off the clock, and that's extremely valuable to the Broncos.
The draw, I think Smith won the draw again, but the 2 sticks met the puck at the same time, and it shot all the way down the rink. That'll buy him another 10 seconds. Now flying up ice, here comes Zach Hallett. He's got a man open in front, but can't deliver the pass to him. Back at the line, they hold the zone. Carlson shooting, deflected. Hallett tried to center, and a big defensive play by Rissanen. 5 seconds left, the puck cleared. It's rolling, there'll be no icing. The game is going to end, and there will be a new Class A champion as the Warriors are upset by International Falls, who came up with a sterling game here today.
There's no question the play at the end of the game by Matt Rissanen was the play that made the difference, because the puck almost came back on in front, but he was able to get it where it could not do so. And right now, it's International Falls who are the victors of this game. They go to the championship round. The Broncos extremely happy, and Kerry Eads and his crew extremely disappointed.
Oh, what a game for the goaltender, Todd Settler. What a solid, consistent performance by the Broncos. And I suspect we're going to have a very interesting handshake out there as Kerry Eads has called his guys together. There were some tempers that were just on the edge of flaring in the midst of this celebration. I don't know if a puck got shot across the rink, but tempers were about to erupt there because it is a bit of rivalry. The open enrollment question comes into play here. And it has been quite intense, but kudos to the Broncos. They played well.
Frank, one of the players from the Broncos after the game went over to their bench and kind of challenged those players, got the stick in there in their face and everything else. I think that's where the problem was. But that seems to have subsided at this point right now as the handshake does take place. But it will be the Broncos of International Falls that will advance to the championship round.
Well, they will meet Totino Grace. And we'll have that action for you here tomorrow afternoon as Tom Reed and I follow the Class A tournament to its conclusion. But this turned out to be quite a dandy game. We mentioned several times sluggish at first, terrific third period. And all in all, I think the Falls Broncos were what looked to me like on a pretty disciplined game plan, Tom. I don't think they wavered very much. They weren't being real flashy, although Kevin Gordon told us a couple of times that he wanted his team's feet to get moving a little bit more. I think pretty much they were in position most of the afternoon.
Well, they certainly were. Shots of net were pretty low as far as International Falls go, but as you mentioned, Frank, they did the things they had to do. They go into the game plan. You don't want to alter it unless there's a big problem. There was not a big problem, and so as a result, they just kept pecking away. They only had one power play in the game, but it was an important one because it gave them the go-ahead goal, which they wound up giving him that winning goal to win this game by a score of 3-2.
There's our first bank scoreboard. The Falls wins this semifinal game 3-2. And right now, John Austin is standing by with our Jeff Grayson.
All right, Frank, thanks very much. John, congratulations. Tell me what's going through your mind right now. You're in the finals.
We're going to be happy. This is a dream come true.
What can you tell me about the game-winning goal? You took advantage of the power play.
It's kind of lucky, I guess. Marvin didn't come up close post, and I just snuck her through on him. It's really the only power play opportunity we had all night. We were kind of got tough calls against us, and I guess we just got lucky.
Could you talk about how tough of a game this was? I mean, you just beat the defending state champion.
It was a real battle. They're a heck of a team. They deserve all the credit in the world. It's real tough for them being defending champions. A lot of pressure on them, and we're just happy that we could get as far as we did. North teams, we like to see the North go as far as we can every time, so we're happy to play them. We wish it could have been a championship game, but they deserve a lot of credit.
Congratulations, John. You got the game winner, and you're going to the championship tomorrow night.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, John. That is John Austin of the International Falls Broncos. They win 3-2, ensuring that we will have 2 new state champions crowned tomorrow night. We'll be back with more from the state hockey tournament at the St. Paul Civic Center when we come back.
Overheated, blew out 3 big lines.